the cycle of selling. So the first thing in the cycle of selling that you really got to get onto is just the first step, which is the pre-approach. Pre-approach. Now, the pre-approach is here, and where it is where we enter in the cycle. So I don't know if you can tell that that's two P's because my handwriting's a little bit crazy, but you'll get it. So the pre-approach is really interesting because the pre-approach is the information that you're going to get, or the information that you're going to get about the prospect before you actually approach the prospect, because it's pre-approach, right? So before the approach, what information you're going to get. Now, usually this information is really like, you could be talking, it works the same in the dating situation. It's like, oh, look at that girl over there, she's blazing. Oh man, she sure is fine, bro. Yo, who is that? Oh man, that's my cousin's sister's uncle's cousin's little sister, Janie. She about 19 years old, so she ain't going to jail, she legal. But Janie got a boyfriend, huh? See, so you get that information, Janie got a boyfriend. That's your pre-approach. Now, if you know Janie got a boyfriend, it's like, yeah, well, so what, man? I'm knocking. She's like, God, is he big? Is he huge? What's up? It's like, nah, man, boyfriend's in the mafia. You need to watch it. See, then you know. You're like, oh, okay, that's not a prospect for me. So, Janie got a boyfriend, and the boyfriend's in the mafia. So there you go, mafia. There you go. Mafia no-go. Okay, so you'd be like, so, well, what about that hot girl standing right next to her? Because obviously Janie looked good, but her friend looked a little bit better because the boyfriend in the mafia, and I ain't trying to die for this motherfucker for this shit, you know what I'm saying? So, she's single. That's Janie's big cousin, Lulu. Lulu's single as hell, looking for a man, and she knows she's doing good up in there too. She work at the motherfucking Go Right, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so Lulu work at the Go Right. You get that information, and then you can go from there to the approach. There we go. The approach. So, we're here at the top. So we started here with the pre-approach. Now we moved up here to the approach. Now at the approach is where you take that information and you go approach your prospect. You go and approach Lulu because she's like, yo, baby, what's up? Now at this point, you hopefully bring some names with you. If you have some names, it'll allow you to get a little bit more acquainted with your prospect. It helps because it'll allow you to break the ice, and when you get to the approach, it's not like some really mad, like hardcore junk. Now, if you're selling something like door-to-door, imagine being a door-to-door salesperson saying, who's going to sell door-to-door? But it's a good example because if it don't go well, you get the door slammed in your face. So it's like, kind of that direct impetus to get the shit right. So if you're going door-to-door selling, right, imagine you're selling books that sell help kids out with their homework. And you're like, you're sitting down with grandma 2 doors down. You're like, I'm just looking for families out here that got some kids that sell books, help them out with kids. And you're about 95 years old, so you don't need no school books for no kids. He's like, nah, I don't need them. But right next door, oh yeah, Mrs. Robinson, she got those 2 little rabbits around her. She got those 3 little. You start getting this information, and you're like, oh, hold on, let me write this down. Write it all down, and when you go, you're like, well, Mrs. Robinson, but wait, Robinson, that's isn't that I mean, and she's like, yeah, that's the one, yeah, she's the principal of the school. So you're like, oh, that's right, the principal of the school. You get this extra information down there. And then when you go to talk to Mrs. Robinson next door, you go to the approach, what you going to do? You're going to be like, yeah, man, I was just sitting down talking to Mrs. Lately back there. You know Mrs. Lately, she's too old to know anything about nothing. She's been at home all day. But I was talking to her because I'm the one talking to kids' families. Got kids going to school. Now, I know you're the principal, right? She's going to be like, yeah, you know I'm the principal. I know I'm the principal. But in that moment, you made this connection with them. You built rapport. So what you want to do in the approach. So the pre-approach is to gather info, right? And the approach is to build a bit of rapport. B-U-I-L-D, rapport. And you know, you can spell it how you want. I'm as dyslexic as hell. So you can say rapport, rapport, how you want to do it. Then we're going to go here to the next step right here. And that is the intro. Now, I say the intro as in the introduction. But you hope at this point that you've built enough rapport to get the intro. Now, what do I mean by that? Because if you ain't built enough rapport, nigga, you ain't getting in. That's in the intro. It's like, if you're selling door to door, imagine, right? You're like, yeah, Mrs. Robinson, you know, I heard, you know, you're the principal. He's like, yes, I am the principal, and my husband is the chief of police. And if you don't leave right now, I'm going to have to call him. And then all of a sudden, you don't get to know intro because you didn't build enough rapport to get to the motherfucking intro. So this is what happens in almost any stage of selling. If you don't build enough rapport, you don't get to the intro, and so you can't go with the other stages of the cycle of selling. Flip back to our original, when we're talking about when you're with this girl that you like, and you go and you start chatting with her straight up off the bat, and you start telling her, you know, you got this red Maserati, and you know, your daddy got the helicopters, and you know, and your mom, you know, she worked for fucking Starbucks, you know, because she owned 3 of them, and all this crazy shit, and she don't give a fuck about that. She wants to know what, you know, what's the connection between you and her, and there ain't none, because you haven't built any rapport. So you find a common ground, and you build rapport, maybe with the same as this situation with the kid selling school books. You might know a friend of hers, or you know she got that cousin, you know, and you just make this connection. And all this is so you can just move to the next step, which is the intro, right? So you go from pre-approach to approach to intro. And why this is a cycle is because if you take any one of these steps out of the order, the shit don't work, and they don't buy. And I don't give a fuck what you do, it don't matter. It don't buy. So which would you want? You want to do it your motherfucking way and have niggas not buy nothing? Or you want to at least know what's going on in the process and be able to suss it out and figure out, okay, where am I, what's going on and what's going wrong? Or where am I, what's going on and what's going right? Okay, so we go to the next step. The next step up in this motherfucker is the intro. So in the intro, your introduction, you've already built a little bit of rapport. Then you're going to tell a little bit of your, you know, about your story. So your story is whatever the company story might be, you know, and like a lot of times if you're sitting down with somebody, you know, you give them a little bit of history about what you're doing in that area, in the intro, it's like you're giving information, but you're not dumping the whole bag out, you know what I mean? It's not like you just got to your girl's house because you broke up with your man and it's like, oh, and you just like vomit all the information all over it. No, it's not like that. In the intro, you're just selling the sizzle, not the steak. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine, you know when you out clubbing with your friends, or you just out in the street with your family, and you're walking down the street and you're just window shopping because, you know, about to have dinner or something. You're trying to look for a good place to have dinner, and you're walking down the street and you start smelling the smell of the restaurants that are coming outside of each place. And each place got a totally different smell. So when you walk by the restaurant, you're like, ooh, that shit smell good, boy. And then you hear in the background, and you can't see what it is they cooking, but you know that shit smell good. You just heard the steak, or you thought it was steak. It could be a fucking roast baron henna. It doesn't matter. It could be a rutabaga bowl. I can't do anything. But you hear that sizzle, and that is what starts stimulating the senses. And when you start stimulating the emotions and the senses, that motherfucker start getting hot and wet, you know. And it's like, selling is a transference of feeling. And what that means is basically, if you can make the person feel about the product the way you feel about it, and you feel really good about it, then what's going to happen in the end? They're going to want to do what you did. They're going to want to get it. They want to be a part of it. They want to use it. They want to build from it. We got some visitors. No, they're not open today. See?
No, I want to go back to the hours.
No, not them either. Because it's off season for them right now. Okay, you're welcome. But on Saturdays, you can catch them in the morning. So, it's like, there we go. Now, you understand why you need the intro to sell that sizzle, to get people stimulate all the senses. The more senses you can stimulate, the more the people are involved in it, and then the more easy it will be for you to transfer that feeling from you to them. Selling is a transfer, it's a feeling. So now here we are at the intro. You recognize the intro is there to sell the sizzle, not the steak. And you're like, damn, okay, what happens after the intro? Well, after the intro, you get to the
thin drives of love pass through us as we believe we are honestly the ones. And we are the ones. Together we are one. Gracias.